In this video, I'll show you how to format your graphs. For the purpose of this course, all graphs will be formatted the same way, so just refer back to this video anytime you need a reminder. After making a graph, the first step is to delete the title. To highlight the title, click the area that says Chart Title until a box with blue dots at the corners appears around the text. Then simply hit the backspace key to delete. Next, add axis labels to the graph. Under the Design tab, in the upper left-hand corner, there is a button labeled Add Chart Element. Click this button and hover over the header Axis Titles. Click Primary Horizontal or Primary Vertical to add axis labels. Add both to your graph. To type the specific label, click the axis title on your graph, backspace the text, and type a descriptive label. Make sure to include units when the axis refers to a measurement. Now that the axes have labels, we'll clean up the background by removing the grid lines. To highlight the grid lines, click around in the background of your chart until blue dots appear at the end of the grid lines. These dots show you've selected the grid lines. To remove them, tap the backspace key. Repeat this process for the horizontal lines. Note, when removing the grid lines on a bar graph, sometimes the lines along the axes will be deleted. Here's a bar graph I've prepared to demonstrate. Notice after deleting the horizontal lines, the graph has no line delimiting where the y-axis is located. To fix this, double-click on the y-axis. In the Format Axis menu that appears on the right, click the Paint can. Under Line, select Solid Line, and then choose a color that matches the x-axis. Coming back to the original scatter plot, I'll show how to format the bounds and units of an axis. First, double-click on the axis you'd like to format. Again, on the right-hand side, the Format Axis menu appears. Then, click the bar chart-like icon and click the Axis Options drop-down menu. Here, we can change the bounds, meaning where the graph begins and ends. In this case, I can stick with the default of 0 if I'm planning to present this data in a lab report, or I can start the bounds at 10 to zoom in and see the distribution of the data more clearly. The Units option represents what the axis counts by. In this case, the major, which gets printed on the axis, counts by 2, but I can change it to 1 if I'd like more detailed labels. The minor represents the units between the numbers, and Excel should set this option reasonably by default when the major is changed. Excel often adds a border around graphs automatically. Notice when I deselect the graph by clicking off to the side, the gray border around the graph's edge. For this class, you will delete the extra border. Click on the graph. To the right, the Format Chart Area menu is displayed. Select the paint bucket, and then, under the Border drop-down menu, click the No Line option. To change the color scheme of your graph, click on the graph to highlight it, and then, under the Design tab, in the upper left corner, click the button Change Colors. If you plan to print your graph in black and white, choosing a grayscale color scheme allows you to view contrast in the graph before printing. If you plan to submit via Moodle, a color graph may be more appropriate. Whatever you do, make sure graphs with multiple colors are clearly visible to readers. To arrange your graphs in a lab report, right-click in the Graphs margin, meaning in the Axis area, and select Copy. Then, in a Word document, right-click again and select Paste as Picture. To add a figure caption, right-click the graph and select Insert Caption. Click OK. Add a description of the graph in the caption.